bedspreads, and they fluff up down fresh every morning in seconds.
Daniel-Down quilts, now on sale at 6 Daniel-Down stores across Vancouver. Come see what dreams are made of.
Kick off the new year the exciting way with Jordan's January clearance sale. The savings are truly incredible. Up to 50% off. That's right. You'll save up to 50% on Jordan's outstanding line of carpets. Carpet your home in beautiful Jordan's quality at great savings. The selection is astounding. Yard after yard, all on sale from 20 to 50% off. Don't miss savings so low they may never happen again. The incredible January clearance, now at all 5 Jordan's Carpeteria locations.
You could rent this car from a big name and really spend a big dollar. That's not Rent-A-Wreck. You may rent this car from a no-name car rental. That's not Rent-A-Wreck. You can rent this car, or even this car from $8.95 a day. That's Rent-A-Wreck.
At Rent-A-Wreck, we are practical. At Rent-A-Wreck.
Other furniture stores go out of business while United Buy and Sell Service expands to 8 stores. Yes, the switch is on because United Buy and Sell Service has better than going out of business prices. Mattresses from $89, sofa and chairs from $2.99, dinettes from $89. Only a real furniture liquidator can have prices that low. That's United Buy and Sell Service. Yes, the same furniture as other stores, but better than going out of business prices.
United Buy and Sell Service.
Vancouver, celebrating a century. CBC, British Columbia.
Hello, I'm Wayne Cousins.
And I'm Ramona Marr.
Well, it's finally here, 1986. This is the year when Vancouver steps onto the world stage, a year of great entertainment and new opportunities.
The centerpiece of this exciting year is Expo 86. Expo will bring us an incredible assembly of different cultures, new technologies, and fun.
And there's another reason to celebrate, the Vancouver Centennial, our 100th birthday as a city. A time to think about our heritage and look ahead to the future.
Each week on World Stage 86, we'll explore the unfolding story of this special year of celebration. Our reporters and commentators will bring you the stories of a city and its people, welcoming the world to our doorstep.
As Queen of Canada, I would now like to extend to all the peoples of the world an invitation from the people of Canada to visit the World Exposition, which will take place in Vancouver in 1986.
And the world has responded. As we get into Expo year, 46 countries are committed to a presence at Expo 86, and ticket sales are already far ahead of what was expected, with 8 million visits already sold. Representatives of the United States, China, and the Soviet Union will be exhibiting on the Expo site, and visitors are planning to come from the 4 corners of the world.
As this mosaic of colors and shapes rose from the shores of Vancouver's False Creek, people began to wonder just what Expo 86 was going to be like. Would it be like a Disneyland North? A PNE, only bigger? A carnival? A cultural festival? You could say it will be all of these and more. It will be a world-class exposition with a focus on transportation, communication, entertainment, and excitement.
The idea for a 1986 World's Fair was discussed in the late 1960s by Mayor Tom Campbell. The BC government began to look seriously at it in 1978. The next year, they made application to the International Bureau of Expositions. It was sanctioned in 1980, and they decided on False Creek as the site. With Jim Pattison as the chairman of the board and later as president, the project has never looked back.
With less than 4 months to go, most of the hardware is in place. And perhaps you'd like to know why you would want to go to Expo 86. Gail Flitton, Expo's Director of Media Relations, can tell you why.
It's been 19 years since we've had a World Exposition. Canada is world-renowned for it. So we're so well-renowned that 45 nations and possibly more are interested in coming here to show off their achievements of transportation of the past, present, and the future. So there's going to be something for everybody here.
Are we beginning to pique your interest? We're only scratching the surface. There are audiovisual displays that will set you on your ear.
Transportation is one of the themes of Expo 86, and we've already begun to use the modern SkyTrain rapid transit system. It's carrying thousands of people daily past the Expo site to the center of the city. You'll be able to tour the Expo site on board the Swiss-built monorail and stop at any one of the main attractions. During Expo, there'll be special events like Steam Expo, featuring more than 25 operating steam locomotives and vintage rail cars. There'll be a vintage car show in BC Place Stadium with 700 cars under the dome. We'll see some of the cars of the future in the Innovative Vehicle Design Competition. We'll see aircraft too, old and new. At one stage, there'll be a fly past of more than 60 DC-3s. Each of these events and displays are world-class in themselves.
One of the most exciting aspects of Expo 86 is the entertainment, which includes the World Festival, a superb roster of international performances. From the Soviet Union, the Kirov Ballet, the company that gave the world Nijinsky, Pavlova, Nureyev, and Balanchine. From China, the Beijing People's Theater performing a play called Tea House. It was banned in China during the Cultural Revolution because of its stark realism. From Cape Breton Island, Men of the Deep, a musical tribute to the people who worked the mines of Nova Scotia and Cape Breton. From Japan, the Toho Theater will bring performances of Medea, a production that combines the majestic kabuki traditions with the reality of the 20th century. There'll be concerts by the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra, the Philadelphia Orchestra, and the Montreal Symphony, with a variety of conductors from Kazuyoshi Akiyama and Rudolf Barshai to Riccardo Muti.
The spectacular pavilion that's set aside from the rest is Canada Place. It's built on the site of the former CPR Pier BC, and it's covered by a roof of Teflon sails. Because Canada's the host country, the Canadian Pavilion will house exhibits designed to highlight Canada's ties with the rest of the world through communication and transportation. You'll experience high technology and thrilling entertainment.
Expo 86 runs from the 2nd of May until October the 13th. When it's over, we'll have experienced a world-class exposition with all its excitement and spectacle. But for posterity, we'll have a magnificent trade and convention center, a beautiful cruise ship terminal, BC Place, and the BC Pavilion.
But perhaps more important, Expo will bring us new trading opportunities around the world, new recognition for our city, and we hope a reputation for great hospitality.
Most of us like to celebrate the start of a brand new year. It's a matter of tradition. But this Centennial year is something extra special. So how did Vancouverites launch 1986? Well, they began with a grand ball and a network TV special. The first events to take place under the sails of Vancouver's newest landmark.
She looks like a grand sailing ship looming out of the night, the Canada Pavilion. And on New Year's Eve, she played host to the stars. Michael J. Fox was there, so was Jackson Davies, and an all-star cast including David Foster and John Camira Parker. The revelers loved it. Meanwhile, over at the Bay Shore, they had a party of their own. Music, dancing, fun, food, and drinks. As the minutes ticked away towards midnight, the start of Vancouver's most exciting year. Then the magic hour finally arrived. The mayor made a speech with a little help from a friendly otter named Tillicum, and suddenly it was 1986. But perhaps the most typically Vancouver way to welcome in the Centennial year is here at English Bay. Now, it's not the only polar bear swim in the country, but it's certainly the biggest. Officially, close to 2,000 slightly bent Vancouverites took the annual plunge. All shapes, sizes, ages, not to mention the costumes. Several thousand more were quite content to stay on the beach. For some, it was still party time. For others, time to think about the events of the next 12 months.
I'm looking forward to Expo and all the futuristic rides and everything like that. I'm really excited. I got a season's pass.
This is a pretty big year in Vancouver.
All right.
It is, excellent. 86, this is it. So what are you folks looking forward to?
Oh,
a better year than 85.
Expo. Good times, good times.
I hope Expo goes well. I don't know what else. I hope everybody's well and healthy. How's that?
That sounds great.
That's what I hope for. And Happy New Year!
We've come all the way from Melbourne.
Melbourne, Australia?
Yes, Melbourne, Australia.
So what do you think of all the craziness here?
Strange people live in this half of the world, eh?
Do you know that this year's Vancouver Centennial?
No.
100 years,
No.
1986.
Yes, I've noticed it around on the things there. But you've got a good thing going here, you know. Yes, yes.
And so Vancouver plunged into 1986 with parties, official ceremonies, and an optimistic outlook. But for almost 2,000 people here at English Bay, the highest priority was getting out of a wet bathing suit.
Happy birthday, Vancouver!
Still to come, 100 years of transportation, how we got here, how we get around, and a new musical that sings the praises of Vancouver.
I hear Vancouver calling me.
Mediquip introduces an added comfort in home care, the Easy Lift cushion lifting chair designed to give you more freedom and independence. If you're one of the many that require assistance in sitting down or getting up, the unique cushion lifting feature of the Easy Lift with its detachable handheld power switch gently lowers you to sit or recline or lifts you to a standing position. Easy Lift can be your key to enjoying a more active lifestyle. Do it yourself with Easy Lift from BC Mediquip, 2106 Main Street, Vancouver, a business that cares for you.
Jay Collins gives up its Henredon franchise? It's true. We're building a brand new Thomasville Showcase Gallery, the first of its kind in Canada. But good news for you. We're clearing all Henredon dining, bedroom, and occasional furniture at half price. Yes, 50% off all Henredon pieces. Fine quality hardwood furniture to help you create a distinctive home environment. Truly tomorrow's heirlooms, all at half price. Jay Collins Furniture Gallery in Burnaby, half block west of the Sheraton Villa Inn. Open 7 days a week.
Vancouver's first automobile hit the streets in 1899. It was a Stanley steamer. Cars have changed a lot since then. The city's first gas station was at Cambie and Smythe. They sometimes handled as many as 3 cars a day. That's changed a lot too. But some things never change. These were probably the only 2 cars on the road at the time, but they still managed to find each other.
If there's one single key to the development of Vancouver as a major city, it has to be transportation. It's been a vital force throughout this city's history, and of course it makes a very logical theme for Expo 86. Our transportation reporter, Cathcart, tells us how it all came to pass.
Mobility seems to be a Canadian birthright. We're among the most traveled people in the world, and we travel mainly by air across the country and abroad. In aircraft like these, part of CP Air's fleet that spans the world. Transportation caused the founding of Vancouver, led British Columbia to join Confederation, and today remains a key factor in the life of the city and of the province.
It started at Cregalicky, high in the rugged BC mountains 100 years ago. The last spike driven home to link east and west by rail. A ceremony frozen in time, noted here in what has become one of Canada's best-known historical photographs. Travelers still arrive in Vancouver by rail on Via Rail, the federally operated rail passenger service. Since 1885, other railways have been servicing Vancouver. CN is a major freight and bulk carrier. BC Rail, operating freight and passenger trains, has its north-south terminus in North Vancouver. A spectacular reminder of the railroad's importance to the development of Vancouver is the Royal Hudson. Snaking its way along the shore of Howe Sound during summer, the Hudson relives the glory days of steam for its delighted passengers and spectators alike. Before steam, there was sail. These Japanese merchant training vessels are a reminder of an era before the railway and long before the jet aircraft, when sail dominated the world of transportation. As settlements along the coast grew in importance, their only dependable link with Vancouver was by coastal steamer. CP steamships ran a large fleet carrying passengers and cargo, promoting commerce and romantic trips north. A smaller but equally busy fleet was operated by Union steamships, serving logging, fishing, and paper mill communities of the coast. If romantic trips along the BC coast from Vancouver were popular 40 years ago, they are no match for the success of the luxury ships and their thousands of passengers passing through Vancouver each summer. Perhaps the most consistent reminder of BC's coastal reliance on water transportation is the ferry system. While tourism is a big economic factor, Vancouver Harbour earns its keep by shipping grain, lumber, coal, sulfur, potash, and containers worldwide. Vancouver's love affair with air travel began here in 1931, as the first Vancouver Airport terminal was officially opened on Sea Island. More than 50 years later, the airport ranks as the second busiest in Canada, with about 7 million travelers using the terminal each year. In 1937, TransCanada Airlines, now Air Canada, operated its first passenger flight from Vancouver to Seattle. The Lockheed 10A carried 3 passengers. During the past 40 years, the aircraft has steadily changed the face of transportation in BC and Vancouver. Air travel is the most recent transportation development for Vancouver. After Expo, who can tell what innovations lie ahead?
As a regular feature on World Stage 86, we'll be asking prominent citizens of Vancouver to share with us their feelings about this city. A favorite spot, a memory, a person, or maybe just a feeling. We call it My Vancouver, and our first guest is Vancouver lawyer and alderman, Harry Rankin.
Having been born here, not far from this particular site, and having by fate become a lawyer and a politician, and having sat on my backside until it's absolutely worn out from long hours of debate, etc., I saw myself fairly late in life kind of in the wrong position. The outdoors became more and more attractive to me. And when I think about Vancouver now, funnily enough, I think about the endless walks I make around the seawall. People say to me sometimes, well, why, isn't it boring? And I said, you know, when you look out to the water, the tide's in, the tide's out, the ducks are here this season, mallards one time, some other kind of ducks, which I don't even know their names, the geese, etc. I find that that is the most pleasurable time of my whole life. I find that that has more meaning to me now than all the other things that occur. I don't know why that should be. Maybe it's because I have got to the age of the old age pension age, and somehow or other I'm down to the fundamentals. And I guess the part of the seawall that I like best, I'm thinking of Kipling's word when I'm looking eastward to the sea. Well, I like to look westward, out into the ocean, just as I come up to Siwash Rock. And I guess the most perfect time of the year is in the late fall, when the sun is coming down about 9 at night, so maybe the early fall, around 9 o'clock at night. There's a nice red glow in the sky. You see the mountains. You see a little snow here and there. You see the water. You see the big freighters coming in. And all of a sudden, the world seems like a perfect place, even for that fleeting minute. And sometimes it is just a fleeting minute or two. And then you go around Siwash Rock and you're on the kind of cool side, and You continue your walk to the Georgia Street entrance, and that's the end of a perfect evening by about 10 o'clock at night. That's what Vancouver means to me. Now, it means an awful lot of other things as well. That seems to bring together the sky, the water, the trees, and the kind of symbol of what Vancouver is like.
A new musical review opened last week here at the Vancouver East Cultural Centre. Vancouver Calls Me is based on a collection of Vancouver songs over the past 100 years, woven into a delightful evening of music, poetry, and dance. It's an ideal theatre piece for Centennial year, and it sprang from the fertile mind of writer-performer Tom Graff.
Magic city of renown, grown from tiny logging town, beautiful and proud you stand today.
All too many years I've missed, now your charms I can't resist, never happy since I went away.
It all came from our city. It was all written here. And I found it in thrift shops and in flea markets, and some in archives.
Vancouver calls me, its charm enthralls me, that's where my heart will always be. Give me the mountains, the park and fountains, and the home beside the sea.
Vancouver songs really are less, they're not laid back at all, they're aggressively selling you the city.
I want to stay there, I want to play there, where they swim and golf and ski. Fairyland it seems, in all my dreams, I hear Vancouver calling me.
The style of it is very sentimental. I mean, sometimes it's hard to do it with a straight face, and a lot of it isn't done with a straight face, so that's kind of fun. I have a hard time taking anything seriously. But we do have some. There's a couple of tunes that are very beautiful. There's a Gaelic tune, and I get to do a Joy Kagawa poem. Something very, there are a few points that, for me, that kind of ground me in it. It's not all camp, da-da-da-da-da, but I get to do a tap routine. Hey, come on, how many times in my own show can I do a tap dance routine? I mean, I get to do stuff that I don't get normally to do.
Often when the sun is shining, I'm pining for you. Often when the moon is beaming, I'm dreaming of you.
One woman came to me, she's in her 80s, and she brought me her father's 3 songs, and I have them here. I use copies that are just exactly his handwriting. I sing them from his handwriting. I didn't even write them over. And he was a bass, and so it's a lot of fun for me to sing something from 1890.
Vancouver calls me, its charm enthralls me.
A woman came to me 2 Christmases ago and said, here's this song called Vancouver Calls Me, something like that. I've always had it in the basement. Would you like it? Played it on the piano and it works. Corny, wonderful, works.
I want to stay there, I want to play there, where they swim and golf and ski. Fairyland it seems, in all my dreams I hear Vancouver calling me.
Vancouver Calls Me closes Saturday at the Vancouver East Cultural Centre, so you can still catch it if you hurry. Call the theatre for details.
And there's another Centennial show coming up this Saturday at the Orpheum Theatre. It's the Vancouver Symphony's tribute to our 100th birthday. The guests include Peter Ustinov, Yehudi Menuhin, Margot Kidder, John Dankworth, Leon Bibb, and many more. There are still a handful of tickets left, so you may be lucky.
Still to come, the launching of the official Centennial cookbook with a bag.
It's crazy, viewer. TV Guide's Crazy 8's Hot Numbers contest. Each TV Guide has a different number. See? Your number's picked, you can win. Crazy 8s. 8 snazzy Renault Alliances, 1 a week. 8 40-inch TVs with VCRs, 1 a week. And a special bonus week draw for 8 trips for 2 to Nassau. Crazy. Crazy 8s. TV Guide's Great Hot Numbers contest continues, right on the cover of the magazine of TV and video that you trust. TV Guide. It improves the view.
If you'd like a very special price on a beautiful Dania Down quilt, talk to Dania Down. They're having a special white sale on right now that includes Dania Down quilts. Quilts that's filled with soft, snuggly down that's warm in winter, cool in the summer and light as a cloud to sleep under. They save you using blankets, top sheets and bedspreads, and they fluff up down fresh every morning in seconds.
Danya Down quilts, now on sale at 6 Danya Down stores across Vancouver. Come see what dreams are made of.
Norm Babb and Casey for Kits Cameras. Did you know that we can transfer slides and home movies to videotape? No screens to set up, no projectors to align, no more film breaks. Kits can handle any film, sound, silent, or slide. We'll clean it, transfer it, and even add music. It's a great way to use our gift certificates and another surprising idea from Kits.
Kits Cameras, the surprising camera stores.
If you love the warmth and character of solid rock maple, there's one name you'll recognize right away, Vilas. But there's another name you should know too, Monarch Furniture Gallery. Monarch is Canada's largest Vilas dealer with the most extensive collection of prized Vilas furnishings and accessories in BC. So choose the Vilas pieces you like in both popular finishes and compare Monarch's free delivery anywhere in BC. And I'm sure you'll buy at Monarch Furniture Gallery.
Soapy Smith was a legend. He was a desperado, quick with a gun. But somebody else was quicker. He was shot dead up in the Klondike. Fred Cope was mayor of Vancouver in the late 1800s. He went to the Klondike too. He drowned. Their bodies were brought down aboard the same ship. Mayor Cope to a big civic funeral. Smith to a Crook's burial in Seattle. Not many people knew that the coffins accidentally got switched on the ship, and Soapy Smith was the one who got all the honors before the mistake was discovered.
Celebration of the Vancouver Centennial got off to a colorful start even before the year began. A Vancouver publishing company launched the only new cookbook to be given official sanction by the Centennial Commission. And the launching brought out many of the city's most famous chefs. And our reporter, Bill Dobson.
It was a classy, champagne-sipping gathering of world-class chefs, the media, and some of Vancouver's well-known gourmets. Befitting the occasion, it was held at the William Tell restaurant. The book, called Chef Vancouver, is a collection of recipes from 100 of the city's best restaurants. It was assembled by Gae Guida of Port City Publishing. Gae paid tribute to the chefs who made the book possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce 33 authors of one culinary masterpiece. Salute.
The acting mayor, Alderman May Brown, accepted the first copy on behalf of the city.
To the revolution of cooking in Vancouver.
While the guests stood well back, Paul Martin, a representative of Canard du Chêne Champagne, demonstrated the saber ceremony. It dates back to Napoleonic times when generals would come back from a battle, champagne would be brought up from the cellar, and the general would slice the cork from the top of the bottle with his saber and ride off with one of the castle's wenches. I watched, and Paul didn't ride off with a lady, but his artistry with the saber was appreciated. Many of the guests took the opportunity to have the chefs autograph their own recipes. All in all, an auspicious launching for a colorful cookbook in the name of the Vancouver Centennial. Bill Dobson, World Stage 86.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed this first program on World Stage 86, and we hope you'll make us a regular part of your television week.
Next week, we'll tour the new Canada Pavilion for Expo 86, and we'll look back at some of the great world expositions of the past.
And we'll tell you the story of one of Vancouver's most important and controversial figures. For World Stage 86, I'm Ramona Marr.
I'm Wayne Cousins. We'll see you next week.
This is CBC.
Not